Hi, this is Dr. Mark Santa. Welcome to this session of Level Up. This is the Breakthrough Coaching Podcast where we introduce you to chiropractors who are some of the most successful chiropractors in the country, as well as some of the most successful chiropractors in breakthrough coaching. And I am absolutely pleased today to spend some time with my good friend, Dr. Jeff Shebovsky. And Jeff,
thank you very much.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
You're welcome. No problem.
Jeff's up in Orlando, Florida, and has a wonderful, booming, multidisciplinary practice and a great team and a real love for chiropractic. So just to get started, Jeff, if you could share with me a little bit and with our listeners, how did you find chiropractic, or did chiropractic find you? What's your chiropractic story?
Always the question, right? Actually, well, first of all, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate the acknowledgement. I found chiropractic, I actually, when I was about, 12, 13 years old, I was starting to hit the weights, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was more like closer to 15, I don't remember, but I was lifting weights, and I was, I hurt my neck and my back doing it improperly. And like most kids back then, I complained to my parents, and they eventually took me to an orthopedic doctor. After waiting 4 hours to see the doctor, he barely examined me, and he gave me prescription muscle relaxers, and that was the treatment. It didn't get better. I was 15 because I was a bus. Excuse me, it's in my eye. I was a busboy in a restaurant, and the waitress saw me off in the corner, kind of stretching my back and trying to relieve my pressure. And she says, "You know, you should go to my chiropractor." And I said, "What's a chiropractor?" I didn't even know at the time what a chiropractor was. This is at 15 years old. So I went to her chiropractor, and I found it amazing. I mean, the pain went away. I had better flexibility. And I had suffered for several months like this under the care of the orthopedist and the muscle relaxers. So when I got in college, I decided, you know, what do I want to do with my career? And I knew I wanted to get in the health field, and this just really appealed to me. So I don't have an amazing asthma story, you know, like some chiropractors. My hearing wasn't restored, but I did have fantastic relief as a youngster with neck and back pain.
Well, you've always been an athlete. I mean, you still play ball, right?
Yeah, actually, I played Sunday in the All-Star game in my league. It's 53 years old. I'm still in a baseball league, and I still pitch. I play the outfield, and I'm even making the All-Star team. It's a 38 and over league, and I'm 53. So there you go.
Yeah, that's good, man.
The minimum age. Yeah. So yeah, the athletics and chiropractic go well together, definitely.
I love it. Jeff, how long have you been in practice now?
We just had an anniversary, April 4th, of my own practice, 25 years, a quarter century. I've been out of school since 91 December, so that's 28 years almost.
Yeah.
On my own, yeah.
It's amazing. Congratulations. That's a
quarter century. Hard to believe. I don't feel that way.
It flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does. It really does.
So, how would you describe your practice model right now? I know it's a multidisciplinary practice, right? Yes. Describe what that model looks like.
Our practice, I started as chiropractic in 1994. In 1999, I met you, actually, and I joined Breakthrough Coaching. And as I did, we converted the practice. I think I was one of your first conversions, if not the first, or one of the first. Mm-hmm. And we added a medical doctor to the practice, which I'm proud to say, 19 years later, it's still the same MD. And I don't know how many people have that claim to fame, keeping the same medical doctor in the practice. We have a wonderful doctor named Dr. Colombo. So we have an MD in there. We just re-added PT. We didn't have PT for a while. We just put it back in, and it's doing fabulous. It's only been about 4 weeks. So true multidisciplinary medical doctor, physical therapy, chiropractic, some massage in there as well. Just a really good combination. And we still provide holistic wellness chiropractic care. So it's always the core, the crux of it. Even though we have the MD and the PT, we still go back to chiropractic.
You know, Jeff, I always ask to describe something cool about your practice. And I'd have to say, having been to your office, I think one of the coolest things is your office, the building itself. It's one of the most impressive practices that I've been in. You walk in that front door with that amazing stone wall in front of you. Tell us a little bit about what that was like and the decision to build this beautiful um, sort of a temple to chiropractic. I mean, you just feel
You know,
wonderful being there.
I found this location and I wanted to build a building, and I originally was going to build a small building for myself, and everybody's like, well, if you have this much land, you should put a bigger building on it. So we made a building big enough to lease to tenants as well. But our space, I went a little overboard with the accents, the stone, the 8-foot wood doors, the wood trim, it's just a really nice, when people walk in there, you just feel warm and nice. I spent a lot of time in there, more than I spend at home. I always say it's nicer than my house. We put so much money into the building, the finishes, and of course you look back, you wish you always did something different, but it is nice. We get compliments from patients all the time. We get compliments from attorneys. One of the things I thought about is we do a good bit of personal injury, not all personal injury, but probably maybe 40, 50%. And I always thought, if I can get the attorney out to the office, they'll be so impressed that they'll send clients. And it has worked. The office sells itself, because I tell them, this is a place you would send your own mother to treat, that you would feel comfortable treating. And that's so critical, because in personal injury, there's a lot of shady, rundown places that, fly by night. And this stands out in your mind of when they want a quality clinic to send car accident patients to, we're the one to go to.
And, I firmly believe that that's part of the healing process, that environment that you create for the docs that work there, and for the patients and your practice team. That is an experience that you're creating for the patients that they remember, and that becomes a marketing tool in and of itself. As you said, people start to recommend you, not just because you got them better and got rid of their...
A nice place to go to,
Great place to be, right?
It exudes healing and warmth and good energy. You have to have that good energy. It is part of healing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Because people just love they love the doctors and the staff, but the facility it just adds to it, definitely.
Well, Jeff, if you could give me, you've been sustained success for many years, and like everyone else, if there's success, there are hills and valleys always. That's normal. Can you give me maybe a couple of things that you do or that you have done to keep you on a success track, and maybe help you out of the dips when they normally and naturally come in a career?
Yeah, we've had those dips. I would love to say it's all success all the time, but we know, like you said, it's not the truth. In fact, we just came out of a pretty bad dip last year. For lasted about 5 months, which is almost half a year. That's a long time. And it's easy to get down in the dumps. It was even happening to me a little bit. But one thing is my work ethic. I have a very strong work ethic, so I just keep pushing. When things are down, I push a little harder. I get out there more. I meet with people. I do what I got to do. I think reading motivational books, watching motivational clips, even on YouTube, I found some great ones. It's so helpful. And I think you always have to have that burning desire inside you. I remember reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And that when I was just starting practice, I learned about this book, and it's that burning desire. I remember that was like key in that book. And, as long as you have that inside you still, then you keep going. Once you lose the desire, the burning, especially the word burning, it's just such a powerful word. Once you have that burning desire in you, you can keep going. So I think it's just knowing that is a dip and you're gonna be okay, and just keep plugging away.
And I think for those of us who know you as well, is you have a really great sense of humor, and so being able to laugh and laugh at yourself and laugh at circumstances and get the joy out of life, that's one of the things that people love being around, right? When somebody
I love the practical joking and the fun, and in fact, we just worked on core values with you actually with our office, and we have it up in the back of the office on the wall. It looks beautiful, and we have all these core values, and one of them is having fun. So it's a value of the company as well.
I love it.
Important. Yeah.
Jeff, from a practice perspective, what do you think advice you would give a doc in practice what's more important? Is it being able to attract and bring in new patients, or establish long-term relationships with patients? How do you balance that in your practice?
I think the most important is if you can maintain and retain your patients and teach them about wellness. That's probably the best way to go, because you don't have to constantly search for new patients. The reality of it is it's a balance. I mean, I think you can have the biggest wellness practice around. I think people are going to occasionally drop out and not continue, whatever reason. So I think you need a balance, but the wellness, educating patients and doing that is so important. We implemented this. We've always done maintenance care or wellness care, whatever you want to call it. We've implemented a thing called ongoing wellness, which I like the term ongoing because it is what it is. It's ongoing. So, and it's not just maintaining the health of the spine and preventing a flare-up, but you're just staying well. Ongoing wellness kind of speaks of the nervous system and the whole body working together. And so we have people coming in now every other week as an ongoing wellness, where people used to come in once a month a lot, and we found that they get to the third week. Well, they get to the month and they say, last week, doc, on the third week, I feel like I needed it already, but I had to wait another week. So we kind of answered that call, so to speak, and we came up with this ongoing wellness, which they're coming in now every 2 weeks. And I like to say, if you have a wheel and there's a wheel of health and you have 5 spokes on the wheel, you want to eat right, you want to exercise, you want to get enough sleep, you want to have good to reduce stress, have a good attitude, and you want to have a healthy spine and nervous system. And that's kind of how I'm explaining to people that this is the part that people forget. When I ask them, you want to be healthy, they forget about the nervous system part. Like, people don't say that enough. And so that's what we're teaching them. And so the ongoing wellness is important.
I love it. And yet you are a very savvy marketer. So you're out there. I know you have a radio program, you do dinner lectures, you're out there networking all of the time, you do events. I know you have a focus on the new patients as well, right?
Yeah. We do Google AdWords. We do Facebook sponsored posts. We do some dinner workshops now and then. I had a radio show. I'm not currently running the show, but that was a fun thing to do as well. We do lunches with attorneys, networking, social events, you name it, we're trying to be involved in it. Occasional spinal screenings, lectures in the community. I've lectured at women's groups, senior groups, and that type of thing. So yeah, it's an ongoing, like we said, you got to balance some new patients with retaining your existing ones into wellness care.
Hey, Jeff, one of the big topics for chiropractors now is that everybody's focused on decreasing insurance reimbursement. It's getting smaller. Deductibles are going higher. That means that more patients are spending cash for their services. How are you managing that and turning that into an opportunity for your practice?
We historically, on the chiropractic side of things, we don't participate in really any managed care. So it's like, how do we do that? And we have a system in place where we have the patient come in, we give them an affordable first visit, exam, consultation, x-rays. On the report of findings, we'll check their insurance, but many times the deductibles, which used to be here, are here now, especially out of network, $5,000, $8,000 out of network deductibles. You can't even meet them with chiropractic typically. So we offer an installment payment arrangement, and we break up the patient's care into monthly budgeted amounts that they're easy to manage. And we just do it over more time. So it allows them to get all the treatment they need over a longer period of time without quitting too soon because it's too expensive up front. And we compare that to in-network. Let's say your in-network specialist copay is $40 a visit, which is very typical. If they're coming 3 times a week, which is typical of most offices in the beginning phase, they're gonna pay $120 a week. It's $40 on Monday, $40 on Wednesday, $40 on Friday, and repeating that week after week before they go to twice a week where it's still $80 a week. We get our full fee, let's say it's $60 per visit using that number. And we'll break it out for them. And maybe it's 50 visits over the year or something. Maybe it comes out to $195 a month. That doesn't sound like a lot. And you do $195 divided by 4.3 weeks in a month, there's only about $47 a week. So you compare $47 a week to come to me or $120 a week to go in network. So we're able to get them out of network, but still get our full fee over time. We just have to wait for it a little longer, but yeah, we charge them. And it's great because in network, they won't continue either because that $40 3 times a week, it eats them up, the average person.
That's right.
And they quit before they correct and stabilize, and they certainly never get to wellness care.
Absolutely.
So that's one way that we convert them. We also use spinal decompression therapy very successfully. We have tables in all the offices, and that's strictly a cash service and a very effective one at that.
Right. And I know on your medical side, you're just getting ready to enter into Regen Med, and
yes, we are.
Those procedures are cash.
Medicine, and we haven't started that yet, but we're going to be doing the stem cell PRP. That's a cash service, obviously, that a lot of people are doing. And we have the medical doctor, so we're able to do that. It's just a matter of implementing it shortly.
Same budget size payment ideas, right?
I haven't decided on that, how we're going to do that, but probably going to be something either I'm doing it or an outside financing possibly to do that.
Cool. Excellent. So Jeff, we spoke about some of the ups and downs in practice. I know not only are you a successful chiropractor, but you're a spouse, you're a dad. We had a graduation this past week.
Yeah.
And, so what do you do to maintain balance? So number one, I know you're really careful about your physical health and exercise and what you eat. How do you maintain that work-life balance, Jeff?
It's not easy. Being a workaholic that I am, it's not easy, but I am at every, almost every event of my kids have ever had. My oldest one just graduated college. I have another one in college and one in high school, but I mean, throughout their lives, even as busy as I am with the practice, I made it to the plays and the dances and the dance recitals and the cheerleading events and the baseball games. And so I always make the family a priority. And even though sometimes I feel like I got to be pulled into work, I make it a point to be there. And I know they'll always remember me as a hard worker, but remember me being at all their events. So that's the one thing. I do watch what I eat, low carb mainly, and low glycemic carbs, and then I work out. I'm into strength training, not bodybuilding, but strength training I think is so important, as all the studies are showing. So I do a high intensity strength training a couple of times per week, and play baseball on the weekends. As I mentioned before, I'm a Sunday baseball league, so that that's one thing. You got to have an outlet of something. For me, it's the baseball. I mean, that Sunday morning I look forward to all week long, and we get together with the guys, and it's 3 hours of just nothing else but baseball.
Yeah, super fun. So Jeff, you've been a Breakthrough Coaching member for many years, right?
20 years this year.
20 years.
I think I joined in 99, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that college graduate was in a stroller, by the way.
Yes, you remember that.
Tell me, what drew you to Breakthrough Coaching? There are other choices out there. What made you choose Breakthrough?
Well, I mean, and not to toot your horn because you're doing the interview, but I remember you took over Breakthrough Coaching right around then. Yeah. And I had met you, and I was just impressed because I knew about Breakthrough before, and I wasn't very impressed with it before. And then when you took it over, you started to slowly implement all the changes. And what drew me to it was the complete system. Everything you could possibly need. And I tell you this all the time. The website is so ridiculously comprehensive in a good way. It's so much. You could be on your website and learn, whether it's marketing, training your chiropractor on what roles they should have, what tasks they should be doing, team meeting templates, co-payment, spreadsheets with deductible and copay. It's and then the audio visual mod. It's not just paper like you read something. It's audio visual. The PowerPoints and the training. It's what drew me is the structure and the organization. Your level, your company's level of organization is like nothing I've seen.
Well, thanks, Jeff.
Really amazing.
It's a high compliment.
I've been there for 20 years. People are like, what do you need them for? You know how to run a practice. You've had multiple practices. I have, but I still want that structure behind me and behind my staff.
Well, thank you. Listen, Jeff, you've been super generous with your time. I appreciate it. so much. And if there was a closing message maybe that you could give docs who are listening right now in terms of making a difference in their practice tomorrow.
Ooh, closing. Gee, that's a tough one. Make it practice. I think it's just just remember what our forefathers went through, for this profession. I think we think about what those guys did and how easy we really have it. We complain. I say to my kids all the time, you don't know how, you have it so easy. You're worried about your cell phone. God forbid, right? And these guys got arrested for what we did. So just go in and remember, be grateful for what we have, what this profession has given us and given the world. And I think that's a great motivation to get up every day and go tell your patients the chiropractic story.
You better believe it. Well, Dr. Jeff Shebovsky, thanks so much for being with me.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. I'm honored.
Great.
And I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our listeners, make today an exceptional day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.